guys, it's me Daily and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be filming another book haul. I have 20 plus books to share with you today, and these are the ones I've collected over the past couple of months. Most of them coming from like pre-orders or recent releases, as well as a lot of books I bought on vacation. So let's get into the video. Hopefully you guys like the video. I'm filming this at 11 o'clock at night and I'm in my pajamas, so you get what you get. So let's start with book of the month because I have a cute little stack over here. I have 3 books to share with you. These are the ones I picked for my May, June, and July picks. I've only read one of the 3 so far. But the first one that I got for my May pick is Things We Lost to the Water. This is by Eric Nguyen, and I love this cover. When Huang arrives in New Orleans in 1979 with her 2 young sons, she is a jobless, homeless, and worried about her husband, Kong, who remains in Vietnam. As she and her boys begin to settle into the life in America, she continues to send letters and tapes back to Kong, hopeful that they will reunite and her children will grow up knowing their father. But with time, Huang realizes she will never see her husband again. While she attempts to come to terms with this loss, her sons, Tuan and Bin, grow up in their absent father's shadow, haunted by a man in a country trapped in their memories and imaginations. As they push forward, the 3 adapt to life in America in different ways. Huang gets involved with a Vietnamese car salesman who is also new to town. Tuan tries to connect with his heritage by joining a local Vietnamese gang, and Ben, now going by Ben, embraces his adopted homeland and burgeoning sexuality. Their search for identity as individuals and as a family threatens to tear them apart until disaster strikes the city they now call home, and they are suddenly forced to find a new way to come together and honor the ties that bind them. This sounds like an emotional, very emotional read, and I actually want to get to this soon, now that I remember what it's about. Okay, so this one's honestly not that short. I mean, not that long, so I think I'll be able to get to it sometime soon. I've been kind of in a reading slump lately, and I'll talk about that a little later when I get to a specific book that I'm currently reading. But this sounds great, and I don't know why I haven't freaking picked it up yet. This sounds really, really good. I don't know if I've really read about Vietnamese culture, so I'm very excited to learn more about that. My June pick was one I've actually read, and that is The Maidens. This is by Alex Michaelides? I'm not really sure. This is a really cute cover though. I freaking loved it. This I rated a 5 out of 5 stars. Thinking about it now, maybe more 4 out of 5 because the ending. Dang, did it take me by surprise, but I would say it wasn't like that life-changing of a book, so I don't think it deserves 5 out of 5. I listened to the audiobook on Scribd, and I read it, I read the majority of it in one day because I was cleaning my room. I was deep cleaning my room. I took an all-nighter, and I finished the book. I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the narrator for it, and the mystery unravels, and I will say I felt suspicious about every single person in this book except for the person who's doing the crimes. It involves a lot of Greek mythology. Yeah, Greek mythology, a lot of that, which wasn't too confusing, but I kind of tuned out when it came to that. And then my July pick, which I have yet to pick up, hopefully I get to it sometime this month or next month, like soon. It is a historical fiction, but also it's based on a true story, so I don't know where that would fall. Is it nonfiction? Is it fiction? I'm not quite sure, but this is Sisters in Arms, and this is by Kaya Elderson. This releases on sometime in August, I'm not really sure, so it's not out yet. So maybe I should read it now. It's about Grace and Eliza, who are from completely different backgrounds. But when it comes to the Army, specifically the Women's Army Corps, WAC, they are both starting from the same level. Not only will they be among the first class of female officers the Army has ever seen, they are also the first black women allowed to serve. It says, based on a true story of the 6888 Central Postal Directory Battalion, Sisters in Arms explores the untold story of what life was like for the only all-black female U.S. battalion to be deployed overseas during World War II. Those are my 3 book of the month picks, and I don't know why I haven't gotten to these two yet. Next, let's talk about books I got before I went on vacation that I forgot to talk about. I think I left them at my grandma's house by accident. So the first one is by Nicola Yoon. This is actually a signed copy from Wally World, and this is Instructions for Dancing, and this is by Nicola Yoon, like I said. I have her other books, a couple of her other books. I don't know how many she has, but I have Everything, which I have yet to read. I started it but DNF'd it because it wasn't the right time. And then I also have The Sun Is Also a Star, which I have read and freaking loved. It was one of my favorite books. It's probably still on my favorite list, but I have a lot of favorites. So this one, I'm not quite sure what it's about, but it's Nicola Yoon, and of course, like I said, I loved The Sun Is Also a Star, like, with all my heart. It was just incredible. I cried. It was a great book. So I thought, why not try and start up another book by her, which is Instruction for Dancing. Signed copy. Gotta love signed copies. Evie Thomas doesn't believe in love anymore, especially after the strangest thing occurs one otherwise ordinary afternoon. She witnesses a couple kiss and is overcome with a vision of how their romance began and how it will end. After all, even the greatest love stories end with a broken heart eventually. As Evie tries to understand why this is happening, she finds herself at La Brie Dance Studio, learning to waltz, foxtrot, and tango with a boy named X. X is all that Evie is not. Adventurous, passionate, daring. His philosophy is to say yes to everything, including entering a ballroom dance competition with a girl he's only just met. Falling for X is definitely not what Evie had in mind. If her visions of heartbreak have taught her anything, it is that no one escapes love unscathed, but as she and X dance around and toward each other, Evie is forced to question all she thought she knew about life and love. In the end, is love worth the risk? Yes! Oh my god, this actually sounds really good now. I don't know why. I always put books off. Since I'm in a reading slump, for certain reasons, I'm in a reading slump, and I just want to read everything now that I'm reading these synopses. The next one I got, I think before I went on vacation, along with Instructions for Dancing, I got these on the same day, also at Wally World, is The Underground Railroad, which is by Colson Whitehead. Floppy, first of all. And this sounds incredible. You know, The Underground Railroad with Harriet Tubman, and how it's not actually a railroad, but in this case, it's actually a railroad. I'm, like, getting tongue-tied right now. Cora is a young slave on a cotton plantation in Georgia, an outcast even among her fellow Africans. She is on the cusp of womanhood, where greater pain awaits. And so when Caesar, a slave who has recently arrived from Virginia, urges her to join him on the Underground Railroad, she seizes to the opportunity and escapes with him. In Colson Whitehead's ingenious conception, the Underground Railroad is no mere metaphor. Engineers and conductors operate a secret network of actual tracks and tunnels beneath southern soil. Cora embarks on a harrowing flight from one state to the next, encountering, like Gulliver, strange yet familiar iterations of her own world at each stop. As Whitehead brilliantly recreates the terrors of the antebellum era, he weaves in the saga of our nation, from the brutal abduction of Africans to the unfulfilled promises of the present day. The Underground Railroad is a gripping tale of one woman's will to escape the horrors of bondage and a powerful meditation on the history we all share. This sounds incredible. It just sounds really good. So I would really like to read it soon. I want to read all of these soon now that I'm reading them. Like, of course I bought them for a reason. And it sounds great. And it says, now an original series on Prime Video, which I don't have. But if I ever get it, I will be watching that after I read the book, hopefully. Let's go into the books I got from Branson, Missouri, which we go there every summer towards the beginning of summer vacation. It's already been about a month and a half since we've been there, so I ended up getting a lot of books because when we go there, we go to Books A Million, and Books A Million has really good sale prices, so we got a large stack here. Most of these are from Books A Million, but some of them are also from, like, Target in Branson, because there were some books I saw and I was like, I want these. Let's start with some middle grade in here. We got 3 middle grades, but let's start with these 2 that belong to a series, which is the Nevermore series, The Trials of Morgan Crow by by Jessica Townsend. I also have Wondersmith, which is The Calling of Morgan Crow. Morgan Crow is cursed. She was born on Eventide, which is the unluckiest day for any child to be born. She's blamed for all the local misfortunes, and worst of all, the curse dooms her to die at midnight on her 11th birthday. But as Morgan awaits her fate, a remarkable man named Jupiter North appears, whisking her away into the safety of a secret, magical city called Nevermore. It's in Nevermore that Morgan discovers she must contend for a place in the city's most prestigious organization, the Wondrous Society. Morgan must compete in four dangerous trials against hundreds of other children, or she'll have to confront her deadly fate. These sound really good. I got the first and second because I thought, isn't the fourth one coming out soon? I don't know. I shouldn't have gotten both of them, but I wanted to because I think I'm gonna love this. I've heard this is a lot of people's favorite, like middle grade, and it just sounds really good. It also reminds me of like the Land of Stories series, which I need more of. So I got those. Anyway, another middle grade I ended up getting, which I got from Target, is Amari and the Night Brothers, which I've heard amazing things about. And I know a lot of people, again, this is their favorite freaking either book or middle grade. I've heard really great things about it. This is by B.B. Alston, and this is about a girl named Amari. She has never stopped believing that her missing brother Quentin is alive. She finds a ticking briefcase in his closet containing a nomination for a summer tryout at the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. She's certain the secretive organization holds the key to locating Quentin. If she can only wrap her head around the idea of magicians, fairies, aliens, and other supernatural creatures of all being real. Now she must compete for a spot against the kids who've known about magic their whole lives. No matter how hard she tries, Amari can't seem to escape their intense scrutiny of doubt, especially once her own supernaturally enhanced talent is deemed illegal, with an evil magician threatening the supernatural world with her classmates thinking she's an enemy. Amari has never felt more alone, but if she doesn't stick it out and pass the tryouts, she may never find out what happened to Quentin. The cover is super adorable. It's like really whimsical and magical looking, and I love the cover. Super cute. Next, let's go to the books that I got at like this bookstore called Book Warehouse, which is like, I don't even know. There's like a shopping center in Branson, Missouri, and now they have a bookstore. So I took a good look at every option they had, and I found a few books. I found 3 books because they have deals there. $7.99 or $3 or 3 books for $20, which is incredible. Usually you'd buy 1 book for $20, but I got 3 for the price of 1. First one is We Are Lost and Found by Helen Dunbar, and I'm not quite sure what this one is about anymore. Ooh, look at those bright, they don't look as bright on camera, but they're freaking blinding me. The cover is freaking cute. I love the colors. Yes. Let's read about it. Michael is content to live in the shadow of his best friend, James, a performance artist everyone wants and no one can have, and Becky, who calls things as she sees them while doing all she can to protect the people she loves. His brother Connor has already been kicked out of the house for being gay, and laying low seems to be Michael's only chance at avoiding the same fate. To pass the time before graduation, Michael hangs out at the Echo, where he can dance and forget about all his father's angry words and the pressures of school and the looming threat of AIDS, a disease everyone is talking about but no one understands. When he meets Gabrielle, a boy who actually sees him, a boy who, unlike seemingly everyone else in New York City, is interested in him and not James, but Michael has to decide what he's willing to risk to be himself. Both heartbreaking and hopeful, this poignant and hauntingly written novel transports you to a time of confusion, longing, love, and the struggle to forge your own path in the face of fear of the unknown. Yes! This actually sounds really good. This is obviously LGBTQ+, and that's exciting. Also, I feel like I'll relate in a way, like not with the LGBTQ+ part, but, you know, I have a sister, and everyone is just in love with her, which I understand. She's a great person. I love her so much, but having someone you hang out with all the time being a friend or a sister, either one, or like a brother, it doesn't matter, but having someone who is so loved by everybody can make you feel so alone and so worthless in some ways, and I definitely relate to that because I'm definitely not everyone's first choice. I'm almost no one's first choice. Having Michael and Gabriel, did I call him Gabrielle? I have a feeling that I'll relate in a way with Michael because of the way Gabriel will see him in the book, and I'm just really excited for that because that's all I want for myself in life, is for someone to care about me and put me first and have me be their first choice, which I don't usually have. So it's really, hopefully it's gonna strike me, hit my soft spot, and make me cry. The next one, a part of the 3 for $20 deal, is None Shall Sleep, and this is by Ellie Marney. This is like a murder mystery, I think. And I don't really know what this one's about either. I think it's just a murder mystery. It's 1982, Quantico, Virginia. Murder mystery, FBI. I'm not going to get too much into it because I've already been filming for 30 minutes. So, there's that one. Final one from Book Warehouse in the shopping center in Branson, Missouri. I ended up getting As Many Nows as I Can Get. And this is by Shauna Youngdahl. This story, I guess, moves between present and past. I believe it's about two friends who start to fall for each other. I freaking love this cover. I'm actually really excited about this one. This is the one I'm most excited about, and then it would probably be We're Lost and Found because of how relatable I feel like it'll be. Another one is Pumpkin, and this is by Julie Murphy. It says This year prom's a drag, and this I wanted to read during Pride Month, which was last month, but I didn't end up getting to it. It's got a beautiful rainbow spine. Oh my lord. Yes, please. And this is about an openly gay boy, a fat openly gay boy named Russell Brewer. He lives in West Texas town of Clover City. I think a video of Waylon gets leaked of his audition tape for his favorite TV drag show, Fiercest of Them All. As a result, Waylon is nominated for prom queen as a joke. Clem's girlfriend, Clementine, which is Waylon's sister, her girlfriend, Hannah Perez, gets a joke nomination for prom king, and Waylon and Hannah decide that the only thing to really do in this situation is to run away. It just sounds good. It's also kind of short, so maybe I could get through it pretty quick. I have read Dumplin' by Julie Murphy, but I have yet to read Puddin'. The next one I have here is House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland, and this one's like about sisters. They're strange. They disappeared on a Scottish city street only to return a month later with no memory of what had happened to them or where they'd been. Their appearances began to change, their blue eyes now black, their dark hair now white. As they grow older, odd, eerie occurrences seem to follow in their wake. People find them disturbingly intoxicating, unbearably beautiful, and inexplicably dangerous. Now, 17-year-old Iris is doing all she can to fit in and graduate high school on time, something her two famous glamorous globe-trotting older sisters Gray and Vivi never managed to do. But when Gray goes missing, leaving behind bizarre clues to her whereabouts, Iris and Vivi are left to find her, but they aren't the only ones looking. As they brush against the supernatural, Iris quickly realizes that the story she's been told about their past is unraveling, and the world that returned them seem unharmed 10 years ago might just be calling them back again. It's darkly seductive. This twisty modern-day fairy tale by the critically acclaimed author Crystal Sutherland is a gripping and terrifying journey readers will not be able to look away. I've heard good things. The cover is gorgeous. Anyway, I also have that. I also ended up getting, I think I got this from either Target or Books A Million, I'm not quite sure. But this is a book called Brave, A Teen Girl's Guide to Beating Worry and Anxiety, which I definitely have. I would say. I'm not saying I do, but my grandma thinks I do, so she got me this book to try and help me out. I did start it, but I haven't really picked it up since Branson, just because I kind of forgot about it. I want to try and start this up when like school starts up, because that's when I really stress and worry about everything. I worry a lot in everyday life. So I'm glad I got this book, but I would rather start it during like school, because that's when the stress and worry really builds up for me because of all the homework and the worry of having the house clean. because that's a worry, definitely. These other books here are also from Books A Million in Branson, Missouri. I ended up getting, this was on sale, which is why I got it, but that is Muse of Nightmares, jeez, by Laini Taylor, and I also have the paperbacks. I don't know if they're UK paperbacks. I'm not really sure if they're the US paperbacks or UK. I'm not quite sure what editions they are. But I have the first and second one. But I love these covers. I don't know why no one likes these covers. I actually really like them. I haven't read the books yet, but I've heard good things. Another one I ended up getting, I think this was also on sale. Yeah, $7.97. Hardcover again. This is The Chestnut Man, which I've had my eye on for like Book of the Month for a while now. If you find one, he's already found you. A psychopath is terrorizing Copenhagen. His calling card is a chestnut man, a handmade doll made of matchsticks and 2 chestnuts, which he leaves at each bloody crime scene. Examining the doll's forensics makes a shocking discovery, a fingerprint belonging to a young girl, a government minister's daughter who had been kidnapped and murdered a year ago. A tragic coincidence, or something more twisted. To save innocent lives, a pair of detectives must put aside their differences to piece together the chestnut man's gruesome clues, because it's clear that the madman is on a mission that is far from over, and no one is safe. This is a chunker. I'm excited about that one. It's creepy. I might save it for more like October, because it reminds me of like Alex North in a way, you know? And the final one I got from Books A Million, which I wanted to save last for the Books A Million pile because I read this one. Dear Evan Hansen. Oh my god. By Val Emmett. The reason I got this is because I watched the trailer for the movie that's coming out in 2 months. Which I better see in theaters because, oh my lord, I get teary-eyed thinking about how incredible this book was. But the ending, god dang did the ending mess that up for me. I fell in love. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I read this on vacation. I read it in like 3 days because that's how much I freaking loved it. So it's about a boy named Evan Hansen, right? And he goes to like, he has therapy meetings, and his requirement for those meetings is to write a letter to himself, starting with Dear Evan Hansen. Today is going to be an amazing day, and here's why. Evan Hansen runs into a troubled boy named Connor Murphy, and Connor ends up getting a hold of Evan Hansen's letter that he writes to himself, and Evan thinks it's no big deal, he's just going to get it back, but then he finds out that Connor has actually taken his own life, and he is like thrust into this situation where Connor's parents believe that the last note that Connor ever left for them was a letter to Evan Hansen. But Evan Hansen goes along with this because he feels so bad for Connor Murphy's family, and he's just all wrapped up in these lies. And when you start reading, oh my god, when you start reading it, it's just phenomenal. And you feel so many emotions going through it. I don't even know how to explain it. It was so beautifully freaking crafted. It was so good. I would reread it in a heartbeat, but I want to wait to reread it. It was such an incredible book. The reason I picked it up is because I did see the trailer. Evan Hansen goes from someone no one really knows to someone who's so talked about. And as the story goes on, he just gets wrapped in like a web of lies, and it's just so heartbreaking to watch. And his struggles throughout the story to keep the lie going. And the book was so great, and the only reason it wasn't a 5 out of 5 for me is because the ending was not what I wanted. It didn't take the path I wanted it to take. It was kind of, I don't want to say this, but a little boring and not as exciting as I wanted it to be. I can't even explain how much I freaking love this book. I know I keep blabbering on. I have a lot of editing to do now that I've been talking about this, but it deserves the time. Now let's get into books I ordered. Let's get into some pre-orders, shall we? One being Goldilocks Wanted Dead or Alive, and this is by Chris Colfer, illustrated by John Proctor. This is a graphic novel for the Land of Stories, and this is about following Goldilocks, and everything going on with Goldilocks. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I really want to read it because it just sounds so incredible. And I love the Land of Stories series with all my heart. It's one of my favorite freaking books series of all time. And I was so excited to see that this was releasing, so I pre-ordered it the day before it released, and it came a day after it released, but that's fine, because I haven't even picked it up yet. But that's because I'm stuck on this one book, which I'm going to talk about right now. This Poison Heart. There's not a whole lot going on, in my opinion. The main character, Briseis, or Bree, she inherits a house, and there is a garden, and she actually has the ability to like grow plants with her like hands. I don't even know how to explain it, but when she walks by a dead plant, it perks up and becomes perfect, you know? So she has that ability, and it's really interesting discovering what she is capable of throughout the story. It's really good at that. I really like that. But for some reason, there's just something about it that there's not a whole lot of pizzazz, I guess you could say. There's not a whole lot of action going on. I love Carter. I love Briseis. I love Mo and Mom. And I really want to finish this soon. I'm super bummed that I haven't been able to finish it in a decent amount of time. And like I said, it's not completely the book's fault. I just think I'm in a reading slump for no reason. So that kind of sucks. But I am loving it so far, and like I said, it is a little slow in my opinion. We haven't really accomplished a whole lot, but it is, like I said, exciting to see what Briseis is capable of in this story, and how her powers can be used, and how far that limit goes. So I'm really liking it. I'm thinking 4 to 5 stars so far, but hopefully I read more of it. Another pre-order I have here, which I actually ended up getting in the mail a couple days ago. The Taking of Jake Livingston. I've heard mixed things. I've heard that some people DNF'd it, but it's also like really short. And the cover, not to mention the cover, I want to get to it so bad. So bad. But I also don't want to like rush it, because maybe I'll read it for like Halloween or something. But the cover, I love the cover. The cover is part of the reason I got it, pre-ordered it, but it's also the concept. Ooh, dang. The next one here, let's talk about this one. I've heard mixed things, honestly. I'm really nervous now. I thought this book was going to be great, and I haven't read it yet, but it's One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I've never read any books by her. This is an adult romance, and this is LGBTQ+, and it's female romance, super exciting. It's like time traveling, like historical fiction involving time travel. So Jane is actually displaced from the 1970s, and August has to help her get back. I don't know how that's gonna go, because if Jane does go back to the 1970s, there's gonna be a conflict there with like, should I stay or should I go, you know? The next one here is like The Ones We're Meant to Find, which also sounds so freaking incredible. This is by Joan He, and the end covers are really cute. I'm excited about that one. Sounds really good. The cover's gorgeous. Great concept. I'm hoping I love it. And the next one here is, I don't know how to say it. Bacchanal. I'm gonna call it Bacchanal. And this reminds me of Escape the Night Season 3, because it involves a circus. And there's the main character, what's her name? Eliza Meeks. She can speak to animals, I'm pretty sure. And one day gets like wrapped up in working at a circus for such a gift, you know, and this circus actually has like a demon attached to it. So Eliza has to save her friends, her family, and fight the sway of a primordial demon preying upon the human world. It sounds really good. I love the cover as well. It just looks really eerie and just super circusy, creepy. Ooh. And the last 2 books here are going to be manga, which I actually have another one coming on the way, but I didn't want to wait to film this because I haven't uploaded a video in about 2 or 3 weeks. And the first one here is going to be Uzumaki, and this is by Junji Ito. I actually have read this one. This is a giant horror manga, and I fell in love with it. It's a town that is like slowly going insane by being involved with spirals. I don't even know how to explain it. It's a story, a horror manga that is about spirals, and you wouldn't think that would be anything creepy, but the illustrations and everything that happens in here is insane, and it makes me want to reread it. I want literally anything else that this author has put out. It's like so freaking horrific. I loved it so much. The illustrations in here, the stories, I can't believe anyone could come up with something so creepy and disturbing. But this was incredible. 5 out of 5 stars. It was my first like real 5 out of 5 stars in a while. It was incredible. I loved it the whole way through. The next one here is a part of a series I'm currently reading, and that is The Girl from the Other Side, Volume 3. I have the first 2, and I also have the 4th one coming on the way. I don't really know when that'll be here, but I'm glad I got the 3rd one because I can read it now. So this series is following 2 characters, one named Shiva and one named the teacher. That's all we really know. Shiva is, I think, like abandoned in these woods, and in the woods there's like these outsider people, and you're not supposed to touch them, otherwise you'll get cursed. So the teacher takes care of Shiva, but if Shiva touches the teacher, she will be cursed and turned into an outsider herself. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I want to see what happens. I'm so excited to get to this, and I hope I get to it once I finish this Poison Heart. I want to read it right now, but I want to not be in the middle of so many books. I don't want to put this Poison Heart to the side and then like forget about it for like a week or 2. I want to finish it just so I can get it done and then start all these other great books. Now, those are all the books I have for this video. I've been filming for about an hour now, so I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed this book haul. I'm actually literally excited about every single one of the books on this list because after reading the synopsis again, they all sound so good. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you liked it. If you want to see any other book haul videos, I have more right here in this corner. In about a week, I'll have my next SpongeBob Bikini Bottom box opening video. I have this one also, it'll be up here in the corner, but I'm so excited for this Krusty Krab box. I've heard it's Krusty Krab pizza themed, and I get it on Friday, so you will be seeing that video as soon as I get it edited and posted up. Thanks for watching today's video. I will see you next time on my channel. Bye! Maybe I wish you were mine, girl. Maybe I wish you took time, girl, to see just what you've done to me.